We have with us Saad bin Matlig, the GDA Technical Committee Chair. Welcome to this interview with OGN Energy Magazine.
Thank you, Abdulaziz. Very happy to be here.
Saad, can you tell us about the GDA conference and how it has evolved? It is the second conference, but I'm sure there was an evolution phase. How was it?
Oh, definitely, it has evolved. Of course, GDA started in 2016, the first conference in 2018. Of course, this being the second, evolved dramatically, be it in the number of attendees, delegates, be it in the types of the panels and the topics being discussed, and also the international part and presence. This time, if you think about the speakers, we have 150 speakers from the region, but we also have 30 speakers that came from around the globe to participate. So that's an excellent spin that we brought in this year to make this conference more and more global, because truly this area is the center of gravity when it comes to the oil and gas in downstream in particular.
Organizing such a big conference does take a lot of efforts. I'm curious as to how do you come about the concepts and the themes in the conference?
Oh, that's an excellent question. With the brains, we sit down and we think, what are the internal forces that we have, but what are also the external forces for the downstream? And when we thought about that, we thought about what themes are really important we want to have good discussions on. We're not going after people coming here to present technologies. No, we are after people coming here to talk about solutions, experiences, help each other collaborate. And when we thought about the external environment, certainly sustainability became one of the issues along with the energy transition. Another issue which is particular to our region is project delivery. This region is investing hundreds of billions of dollars in the coming years to grow the downstream. So certainly you want to deliver those projects in the most efficient manner. So we also picked that area. Digitalization, of course, is another area that we picked. So all of those themes in a way are linked to the forces that are from outside, but also our growth from within. And last but not least is the human capital. You cannot do anything without the right thing and the right skills and the right people. So we are dedicating part of this conference to talk about human capital, how to make the business ready for these younger generations, and how to also allow these youngsters who are more intelligent, more proactive, to also impact the business and shape its future.
I'm sure you have spoken to a lot of speakers and delegates. What is the feedback from some?
Amazing. Being the technical chair, sometimes I feel, but they're very much amazed, very much happy with the level of discussions, the collaborations, the attendees' participations, the energy. I go to all the rooms, and you might have a chance to go there when you have a chance. Packed. The rooms are packed.
Yes.
And people keep on asking questions, and the time is up, and people want to ask more questions. So that's very satisfying. It gives us an encouragement to do more in the future. I think we're on the right track. I think we managed to put together an excellent program that is meeting the expectation of so many people.
I saw a corner for the youth there in the main hall. How do you drive motivation in the youth to enter into the energy sector?
Exactly. We actually look at the youth as an extension. These are the people that one day will be working in our industry.
Sure.
And oil and gas in our region is actually the biggest industry, if you would. So how do we actually influence these youngsters to think about this business and start dreaming of being part of this business? So by having them come here, we also give them courses, by the way, part of GDA activities. And that's our plan, is to bring them in, and they get very much excited and very much happy to come and dream of one day of being in these companies.
Partnerships, coordinations, cooperation, joint ventures are key to driving energy transition in the energy sector. How does GDA help companies come together and maybe form those partnerships, if at all it's possible?
Yeah. GDA is the platform. It's an excellent platform for collaboration. The key is, how do you do it? So from the sponsoring companies and the companies that are part, the founding members in GDA, some of them are service providers, some are technology providers, and some are users, like the National Oil and Gas Company. So they actually interact. Within GDA, there are 10 technical committees that are there. They meet frequently, they discuss topics, they travel, see certain sites together, solve problems. And GDA is actually becoming the platform for all these things and all these people to actually meet and discuss. I was in, just visiting some of the sessions today, and it was very clear how a solution provider talking to an operator, somebody who's just operating, and a solution provider, and whoa, yeah, we can actually do this. So it's really amazing to see these things happening.
Now let's just zoom out a bit from GDA conference to the downstream sector in general. How do you see the region's downstream sector cope with the future vis-a-vis energy transition, sustainability, net zero, decarbonization, and all of that buzz that's going around the energy world?
Yeah, I am very happy to say that this region is actually taking a leading role in energy transition. Surprisingly, a lot of people might think otherwise, but reality on the ground, you come to these companies and in this region actually taking a proactive approach. There are clear plans, there are actions on the ground to move in that direction, because sustainability is actually an energy transition is something that's complementing the hydrocarbon business. We want to ensure the hydrocarbon is there, but we also want to make sure it's there, done in a green way to protect the environment. But it needs to be done in a gradual manner to ensure we don't impact the affordability of energy for people. So this region is actually a center of gravity in downstream. They have good funding backing them up to actually move and make major strides. We see huge activity in the hydrogen business, we see huge activity in emission reduction, carbon capture. So all of those are huge programs requiring billions and billions of dollars. But the companies are actually in this region are moving in that direction to provide alternative fuels that complement the hydrocarbon. So very happy. I think this region will be one day recognized globally to be the leaders in this area. Yep.
You rightly said oil and gas and all the other energy forms should complement each other. How do you see renewable energy integrated into the energy mix in the region?
Oh, beautiful. Renewables is one of those elements that feeds into this journey. It's a journey, it's not a switch that's on and off. It's a journey and so many elements come in. Renewables, for example, and if we pick from renewables, solar, for example, yeah, you can make the grid greener. That brings the power to your manufacturing assets. That lowers your emissions. So scope 1 and scope 2 for you. So definitely renewables is complementing to help offset some of the carbon emissions that are there.
2030 vision of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is an ambitious roadmap. And if I'm not mistaken, and if I can take the liberty to say that, it's not only the roadmap for Saudi Arabia, it's a roadmap for the region, because Saudi Arabia undoubtedly is the biggest economy of the region. How do you see the downstream and energy in general part of that vision?
It's an integral part. Through Vision 2030 does add elements on diversification away from oil and gas. Well, not away, but not to be solely dependent on oil and gas. So what are other revenue streams? But definitely it opens the path for oil and gas to cope with that and actually have higher contribution in many different elements. Part of Vision 2030 is, green energy. Saudi Arabia is leaders now in solar power. So us in Saudi Arabia, for example, I see the oil and gas is actually playing a key role in complementing that vision, as opposed to staying behind. In fact, it's a key part to make that vision happen.
About the next GD conference, I know it's too early. I'd say too early, but what is the next GD conference going to be like when we have a conference like this now?
Yeah, I think in terms of the focus of the conference, I think we will not go far away from what we focused on now, because energy transition will be with us for quite some time. Renewables and all these things will be there. I think digitalization will continue to be with us. So I think those themes and the human capital, of course, will continue to be the same, in my view. Now, the part that will be more, I think you will have much more delegates attending. I think it's going to be the proportion of global attendance and participation is going to be more and more. So many companies want to come to this region, by the way. They want to come to this region to do business.
Yes.
So you might as well ride on that, and the conference becomes a great platform for them to actually come further understand the region, collaborate with people, have a discussion, and allow people to actually engage to shape the future. So I'm very happy, I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be another step. This year, this conference was a major step from 2018. The next one is going to be another major step.
I've heard the oil to chemicals buzz getting louder and louder, even in the panel discussions. What does that mean for the future of the region's downstream sector, whether it's petrochemicals or refining and beyond?
Yes, it was really discussed, very well discussed in one of the panels, and it's very true. Oil to chemical is a complement, it's another part of the energy transition. How do you actually transform the business to have less emissions, to contribute to the global journey of lowering carbon footprint in a nice way? So you provide more chemicals that are needed by people and the market, and you lower your overall emissions. So it's going to be a huge, let's say, part of the growth for the refining. Refining have to transition into more integrated refining and chemical business rather than standalone refineries, because most likely standalone fuels refining may not survive for long.
Saad, thank you so much for speaking to OG Energy Magazine, and we really look forward to the next GDA conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abdulaziz, for having me. Thank you.